Camburg.
What's up, boys?
Yo.
You guys got fucking shit everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, you guys are so scrappy. Pull up and we get in trouble.
Where are we?
We just made it to Camburg Engineering. It's in Huntington Beach. We got some trophy truck parts that we're picking up. Camburg's been a staple name in off-road. Kevin built the TT Bug around their hubs, their housing. Yeah, paired up with Willwood brakes. So we're about to drop some coin and have the best in the biz, and the support, which is a huge part. And they got race-proven products, so let's go find out where these parts are and do a little shop tour and show everyone what Camburg's about.
Excited to get my hands on some fancy parts.
Yeah, these are gonna be too nice to fucking go thrash, but that's what we do. We thrash everything.
It's never too nice to do.
Jerry, the man, the myth, the legend, one of the founders of Camburg. He's, yeah.
Kevin, what do you think of it all?
Epic, man, epic.
Epic? You love it here?
I've been following Camburg ever since I got into off-roading. They're one of the reasons I started building my Ranger in the first place.
Have you ever been here?
Yeah, I've been here.
Okay.
I used to actually deliver fiberglass here when I worked for Fiberworks. So
Oh, yeah.
I've been in and out here a few times. I bought my very first lift kit here.
That's
back
so
in like
sick.
2008, maybe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Camburg's been around forever. They're just a staple in the off-road industry.
You excited to run the parts?
We're super pumped to be running the part.
Now, we got a little taller here, so it stops with the flexing. Makes it a much stiffer spindle, so that'll be really cool.
I don't know if
Good.
we've mentioned it yet, but we're getting 2 sets of everything. We're building 2 TT Bugs. I don't know if we really spilled the beans yet.
Not officially. It's just kind of been under the radar a little bit, but
I spilled the
monkey's
beans.
out of the bottle, bro.
Monkey's out of the bottle? I never heard that one. Cows out of the barn, or something like that. Play with them at all.
That's a brake
Yeah, you're
caliper
gonna,
right there.
Yeah.
You're gonna still have to shoot that. Right, so Blake is talking crush sleeves here, so kind of foreign terminology to most of you guys out there because you just see race hubs and think race hubs are race hubs. With the Camburg stuff here, you know, we have the front bolt-on snouts, we have these crush sleeves. So what they do, this is 2 of them put together right here. They go between the 2 bearings, and basically we tighten up this lock nut after these crush sleeves are precision machined. So the way we set these up is we put everything on dry, and when you spin it, we want it to spin twice and just slow down quickly and stop. We don't want any grinding or hard play in the bearings, and we don't want them so loose they just keep spinning. So when everything heats up, they get to their operating temperature. So like I said, we machine these down very precision between the 2 bearings, and we spin the hub, and it'll spin about 2, maybe 3 times, and it stops on its own. That's the by the feeling preload we do on these things.
So like normally on a normal style hub without a crush sleeve, you're gonna have to torque the bearing, spin it, and kind of back it off a little bit and set it. So with these, you just crank that sucker all the way out, and you get it to the right setting to where you just have the perfect preload every time.
Exactly, and the way we tighten these, we actually make a hub tool that bolts to your wheel studs. It goes on, and we literally beat it on with a hammer, like a big sledgehammer. So it's about 400 to 500 foot-pounds. And then we do all this precision lock washer stuff here, all laser cut and multiple holes, key weight in. So that thing's just really tight. Then it's keyed in, it ain't coming loose. So when you do this properly, you do not have hub problems. We see a lot of people at the races, they don't even run these, or they don't do this correctly. Things are too loose. And when things loosen up, things wear out. Like this is basically by experience. the engineering behind it is trial and error, and this is what works. So all the top teams do this.
So you're going to get a lot more bearing life this way too.
Yeah.
It takes a load off the bearing and allows everything to stay tight without extra load.
And so what you're doing is the part of the bearing that rides on the snout here, it's so tight on there, it's never allowed to spin on this. So you won't see any spinning on the snout. And if that's too loose, you'll see those spinning on there, and that's what wipes everything out.
That much of a difference.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. Wild. Well, these boys are finishing packing up the rest of the hubs and the hardware, the backing plates, snouts, all that good stuff. We got some housings that you guys put some time into, right?
Yeah, let's go check the housings out.
These are just beefcakes. What we have right here is a rear end housing, 4-inch with 325 snout. Give us the breakdown more of the method of the madness with these bad boys.
Yeah, for sure. So this is one of our MIG welded TT rear ends. No different than our TIG welded TT rear ends, other than the TT rear ends are fully TIG welded. These are MIG welded. So giving you all the same strength, all the same quality in a MIG welded housing, which just brings the cost of this housing basically in half because of the labor hours put in it. Same trussing, same tabbing, same fill plate, big vent, big drain, all the bash guards, all the wrap across the back. Our precision machine heat treated 3 1/4 rear end snouts, all our same locking hardware, all our large thick tabbing for the brakes. The back side of this, which you'll show off in a minute, we weld the whole center section together. As the whole center section's been welded together, when that's done, it goes on to one of our CNC mills where we precision machine it flat and then drill and tap all the holes after the welding. Most run housings on the market, when they do that, they just laser cut out all the holes, they weld it, and the metal shrinks and pulls, and those holes never line up. On these, you'll never have to drill out your third member to get it to fit over the hardware. It's just a precision fit, so everything's good, and the surface is flattened out, so now they make
Shit, dude, the hair's
Coming.
Come check out this Blanchard ground.
Why aren't you running? I guess you're excited.
Oh, dude, it's okay.
So on the internals of this housing, you'll notice that we're much wider on the back here, so we hold a lot more fluid, which helps on the longevity, because these things get really hot in long distance races. So we're holding about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons, depending on the setup of your fluid on it. So that stuff gets really hot, breaks down, so we have more volume, doesn't break down as quickly, you get more life out of the fluid. Also inside here, you'll see these hot spots. This is where they're internally baffled off the tubes here, so we're welded all the way around fully, so your fluid just stays in here or rides out through the axles from there. It's not mixing with any of the other stuff in here. Also fully welded internally, these plates on both sides, and then all around the faceplate, the back side of it's welded when you get one of the 4-inch TT Lorenzo.
Big dog, dude. Come check out the Blanchard ground.
So you're saying that you don't drill any of these holes till afterwards everything's welded. So it's kind of funny you say that. I'm not going to name any names, but I've dealt with some rear ends where these holes on the outside don't line up to the actual third member because they did it the other way like you're saying. So that's really awesome. You never have to
Exactly. And you can see in the machining here, like there's some higher spots and some lower spots. And that's because once this thing welds, the whole thing's twisting and pulling, metal moves. You know, people don't realize how much metal moves.
Yeah, it moves a lot sometimes.
Yeah, this whole center section's completely welded together. Then we machine this. So we use this big insert Kennametal fly cutter. Okay. Goes up in our machine. This thing's all clamped down, all tough and strong and gnarly. And we fly cut this whole thing until we see all the shiny metal. That's the depth. There's no really rhyme or reason on the depth other than to get it flat. And then when it's flat, we drill and tap on the CNC mill. Also, if you want to look inside here, you'll see all that internal ribbing I was talking about. See how we welded on both sides inside. So it's welded on the outside, welded on the inside. You can feel up under here at the welds. And then if you film this way, you'll see up on those plates inside there how we weld all those all the way around. So there's a lot of internal bracing and trussing going on inside here. That's why you don't really read anything of like our housings bending and failing and having problems, because we put all the effort and time into this.
Oh yeah, plus it's fully sealed in there. You don't have oil seeping into all the little extra cavities too, like you get sometimes with other rear ends. So
And
nice.
snouts as well. You guys put 4 rosettes, so that way the snout can't move either way, any which direction. And you guys have a couple secrets there. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share those, but usually you'll see the bottom rosette weep oil. It's a common thing, but they've figured out a method to where we're not going to be having to deal with that issue, which is a huge plus in my book, because when oil's leaking somewhere, you usually got stuff moving more than you want it to. Those are some trade secrets. I'm not sure they're going to share those with you, but just know that it's done right.
Yeah, so the trade secret, I'll spill the beans on part of it. It's just welded correctly. So multiple passes of welding. The way we design the hole isn't just a hole drilled in there. I'll give you a hint. So that, the number of passes on the welding, how we design the fillet weld here, there's about 6-7 passes of welding right here. Gets all the way into the snout and gets the whole entire, you know, when you cut a tube, you have the wall thickness of the tube. It's welded from under all the way up. So the way that thing's beveled, we're really welding into the tubes, really getting all the holes, multiple passes of welding. You could even look inside here. A lot of people claim that they heat treat their snouts. Well, these get machined, then they get heat treated. You'll see all these rough marks in here, and that's because of the heat and the peening that happens after to clean up all the scale. Then we machine these snouts on the OD. We do the seal surface, we do the bearing surface and the threads after the heat treat. A lot of people use pre-heat treated material and call their snouts heat treated, but they're nowhere near as strong as doing it the proper way. So big difference on that. And you'll also notice, a lot of details. You'll also notice when you look at these snouts, you don't see like a big offset between the snout and the tube. And that's because of the way we fixture these. They're straight. A lot of these are, people grind on their snouts. We do not grind on the snouts at all when we put these snouts in. If a rear end will not take a snout and be straight, the rear end housing becomes junk, and we're not junking them. So the way we do this, they are straight. So a lot of people, they put the snouts offset because they grind them to put in there. Well, now if you think about it, geometry-wise, if this thing's perfectly straight, your tabs are perfectly straight, your links could be the same exact length. If this snout's off 1/4 of an inch, this link is gonna have to be 1/4 inch shorter than the other link, or longer, depending on which way the snout is. So something to think about.
Well, it looks like we got the good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
I guess we picked the guys to go with for sure on this one.
It's a shame we're just gonna totally trash these beautiful parts in the desert, but that's what they're built for, and that's what we're gonna do.
All in the name of off-roading.
Oh yeah, I'm excited, man. Hopefully our customer also knows that we're giving him the best of the best. And shout out to you, Jesse. We got the best shit for you, man. Thanks to Camburg.
Stoked to be part of this. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go to Glamis and shred.
Yeah. All right, let's load this shit up. Let's load it.
All right.
You're like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, man, this is like Disneyland.
We're asking him what tool he's trying to sell so we can outfit our shop, but
Oh yeah.
Trying to get all the good hand-me-downs.
these guys are just cranking away out here getting shit done. This is their welding department. They got exhaust hoods and all that good shit going down, but this place is pretty freaking epic. It's goals, you know. We're still many years behind these guys, but we're striving to be doing something similar in the future. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for you right now, dude. I'm gonna keep roaming.